Hello guys, welcome back to Comic Book Cafe, and this time around we are reviewing Aquaman Volume 5, Issue 41, written by Cullen Bunn, and the artist is Tremor McCarthy. I don't know what, McCarthy, I don't know why I can't pronounce it, McCarthy. Anyway, this is a rather interesting issue. So, Aquaman is on the run from Atlantis. You know, the kingdom was saved, now it kind of wants him dead, and you know, it's one of those nothing will ever be the same again kind of things. So, here's what's interesting about this. So, the book starts off with showing Missouri, obviously showing the archers in Missouri, and then this invading, like the main thing shows up, and then it's attacking people and everything else, and then Aquaman start fighting it, and you know, you see him like, you know, have his weapon come out, you know, so we can fight, and then you see it go back to the past, where you see that, you know, in the land, he was with Atlantis, I was their leader at the time, murdered everything, and they experience this, and they fight it off, and they say it's happening more often and frequently around the domains. Volko tells them, you know, it's happening more frequently. You know, there's like an invasion. They're trying to devour our, you know, the domain's trying to devour our domain, and so he makes this goal to basically, you know, destroy it, so it doesn't destroy, you know, the Atlanteans and everything else. So he goes back, he fights, he dispatches these guys. One guy comes out, I guess, to be leader of the group at this place, not this part of the domain or whatever. And you know, he says, you know, you're fighting with your own people. I don't believe, you know, you're kill like they say you do. And then he hits a panel, and they all turn to dust. He destroys something, and they all turn to dust. We flash back again to, you know, them talking about, you know, well, right before this thing happens, you know, he finds this, you know, again, this domain again, and these creatures obviously have only been bred to fight. He kind of feels sorry for him, you know, fighting him thing. And then we see another flashback about this domain situation. You know, how Myrna doesn't want him to go, and you know, he should be the one to do it. And other people, it's like, you know, that's not the way I do things. And when did you know care about you ever doing this before? And he goes, why don't you take care of things as the queen until I'm gone? She's like, is that a proposal? And then they kiss, and that's how that ends. And then we come back to now, where after he saves everybody, you see a bunch of ships in the sky, and the Atlanteans basically tell him, you know, under authority, you know, they'll use force, you know, surrender, and he teleports himself away. But then we end the book with him talking about how, you know, I got the power to, you know, to destroy the domain, but I keep letting him live. And then you see all these other people, and you know, say and tell him welcome, you know, to him. And the book says next issue is the other Atlantis. So the question is this, you know, these people there, like the people from the other domain, what's the black stuff, and the other guys trying to attack everybody, you know, what's going on? But clearly, we don't know the whole story of what happened, right, with Atlantis. And clearly, something else had happened before he left. This is just, you know, leaving you with enough for the next issue. But you see that he's out to destroy this domain. He took an ancient power to do it. He's fighting it. Whoever shows up, though he says he can't fight it alone because it's now on land and sea. And Atlantis wants him, for whatever reason, wants them by stop him by force. And so, but he also, you know, at the very end makes a comment about how, you know, I took this power to rage this domain, and yet I let it exist, and no wonder why he says no wonder why she's pissed at me. So a very good book. Like a lot of things I've said lately, if you never read Aquaman, that you could like jump into this story and like kind of figure out enough. I mean, it's not like the greatest starting point if you're going to jump into Aquaman, but it's enough. Like, it shows you some of his relationship with people in Atlantis, and it shows you what's going on now. So it's kind of a back and forth, but overall, a really good story. Obviously, teasing you enough to leave you interested to read the next book to see what's happening. Why did he not, like, you know, rave this other domain with his ancient power? Why is Atlantis, you know, bring him back by force? You know, what is all that dynamic going on right now. So, what do you think of Aquaman 41? Did you like the new issue? Did you like this direction they're taking right now? With this new domain invading and Aquaman, vowing to stop it, but yet whenever he does something to basically his people, want to take him by force. The queen, which would be Myrna, seems like she's the queen now. Would love to hear you guys' thoughts, like always. Again, overall, really good book, a really well structured story. Just enough to tease you to like, I need to read the next issue to see what's going on. Especially if you were, this is one of those issues you could jump into it in the start of Aquaman, and you could piece enough together from this point to kind of understand his world. But overall, really good book, and interesting to see how this all plays out. Why is this domain invading? What's going on? Why is he not letting him live? Anyway, love to hear your guys' thoughts like always, and I'll review another comic book soon.